Hello YouTubers and welcome to another episode. Today, my first ever free rate 30-minute will be done right here in the kitchen, and you'll be able to tell from the title how it went, but currently I don't know, so it's for future Yam Squad to know. And we're going to live stream it as well, so just setting up the computer, getting everything set up for the live stream. So thanks for watching if you've watched the live stream or about to watch the live stream. But just doing it on the fly, seeing what happens. Fingers crossed, going to get the erg moved from the yam cave to the kitchen. A little bit cooler, a little bit more of a cross breeze to hopefully help with a little bit of a better score. So, without further ado, I'll get warmed up, get the erg here in the kitchen, and get going for this 30 minutes. And then after the 30 minutes, I'll discuss sort of the differences between a free rate 30 minute and a rate 20 rate capped 30 minute. Because then I'll actually know the difference rather than guessing. So let's get to it. Okay, we've just made it to the erg itself. Finished warming up, putting in the 30 minutes on the screen. And as you can see, it's a bit glitchy. Not really sure why. Computer had a hard time. So we're going to switch to the live stream side of things, which actually got taken down by YouTube due to a complaint for some reason. So just finished the warm-up, about to start, and then we'll switch over to the sort of live stream screen. Bit of sound and also a little bit better quality and no glitching. Okay, so we've got the screen going. You can see at the top of the screen the score. There'll be a little bit of glitching going on, unfortunately, but we can now see the split on the screen as well as me rowing. So we're just sort of a few minutes in now, and the idea was to, once I got some big strokes out the way, was to just sit on sort of rate 28, 29, sit at about 140, 141, let the split drift up a little bit, and just make sure I'm comfortable for the first, say, 10, 20 minutes, and then start to wind it down. Like I said, a little bit of glitching going on, but now we're over halfway, and you can see that I'm now under 140. I think the average at this point was under 141, and I'm approaching getting the average under 140 itself. Personally, I felt pretty good. My heart rate was around 170, 175, so I had some gas left, or at least I felt I did with some glitching going on there. But I really felt like, okay, I'm stepping on. I've let the split come up at the start, and now I'm just taking 10, 20 strokes at a time to get the split down, 0.1, 0.1, 0.1, 0.1, and then disaster struck. Unfortunately, a little bit glitchy, but as you'll see here, pop right there, the erg foot fell off the screen. And so what that does, especially when you're in the kitchen on a slidey floor, as you can start to see, the erg's going to go walkabouts, and what that means is you're no longer essentially pushing the erg. You're now pushing against, or lack of against, friction, or you're not pushing any friction. So you're sliding all over the shop, which is not conducive to a good score. And as you'll see, my split kind of goes all over the shop as I try to basically not crash into the cabinets or the oven behind me. So from here, as I kick the erg around, I'm trying to assess what I can do to fix the problem, to see if I can get the foot issue, the sliding around, going walkies issue sorted. As I kick the erg and screen falls over and everything, again, apologies for the pauses and the buffering and all that. That is not your computer, that is on this end. But I kind of came down to two options. One was to basically finish off. As you can see, about 12 minutes left. The split's sort of now fluctuating all over the shop, and just finish off the erg and kind of accept that it's not going to be a great one. And then on the other end, the other option, I thought, okay, I can get off the erg as I do a big slide forward, get off the erg and put the foot back on. But obviously, if I get off the erg, the timer's going to keep going, and the split's going to take a massive hit too. But obviously, now is kind of where I'm accepting that this score is not going to be a very good one, because either way, I can't push hard enough, or at least I'm going to just crash if I push too hard, or if I get off, it's going to reduce the split as well. I opted for the option of just getting off the erg, putting the erg foot back on, and seeing if I can salvage the last bit of the erg. But
My feet were really strapped in, and it was a case of just every stroke trying to loosen them a little bit, loosen them a little bit. Now, okay, look behind me, give it a big kick, take a couple of big strokes, as you can hear, little bit, big strokes so I'm not losing too much, and also the screen's there. Okay, handle down, try and get out. Okay, I've got the foot, try and get out reasonably quickly, put the foot back on. Okay, it's on, adjust the erg back to where it was, right back on the erg, get the feet back in, but now the feet aren't tight, they're a bit loose. Because I've loosened them, now I need to tighten the feet back up and we get off again. But as you can see, the split's not very good, or at least it's taken a big hit even. And also it went from, I think it was a 40.2 average roughly, and then I ended up getting back on at a 41.4. So I was on the sort of the build. I wanted to keep on building through the whole piece, and now it basically killed all momentum, gave my body a chance to fill up with lactic acid. And that meant for the rest of the piece, it was just a bit of a struggle to really hold on to anything. And then at the end, I saw that I was pretty much at the same split that I was for my rate capped at 20 half an hour. And I wanted to make sure I wasn't going any slower than that. So about 43s for the rest of the next sort of 10 minutes. And in the last few minutes, I'm down at 38s, 37s. Unfortunately, no big builds. So always a learning process. And I will see you after the erg is finished. And as always, from now on, I will be checking the feet when I get on my rowing machine to make sure this does not happen again.
Well, that couldn't have went much worse, to be perfectly honest. You've already heard. Erg fell, or the bit of the erg, this bit here, this bit right here. See if I can get it to come off now. This bit came off mid-erg, meant I was sliding all over the shop. But we've already had a chat about that. It meant that I was building, as you saw, splits 40.9, 40.6, 39.2. And I was sort of sitting pretty comfortably, and then just as soon as that fell off, it meant I was spending a lot of energy, just sort of a lot of wasted energy moving around. Unfortunately, so not only did it mean I was spending more energy than I wanted to in that 4 or 5 minutes, but it also meant that I didn't have to get off, but I chose to get off because I was going to smash into something behind me, oven, cupboard or whatever. It's just pretty frustrating. I was targeting under 40 anyway, and then just towards the end there, I saw that I was at the same split as I was for the last 2 weeks, half an hour, so obviously I didn't want to go slower than that, but these two splits right here, 43.6, 43.8, just not fantastic at all. And on top of that, the live stream stopped about 10 minutes in, so that's annoying too. And now to the differences I think between sort of the rate capped half hour and the free rate half hour. So my rate, I decided 28, 29 for my rate, and then as I wanted to step up and keep going up and up and up as I drew closer to the finish. So the idea was 40.9, 40.6, 39.2, probably hold 39s for another 5 minutes and then really drop it down. So I was flickering between 9100 and I knew that I could drop it down a split in the last few minutes, all going well. But unfortunately that wasn't the case. Rate capped half an hour versus free rate. It's just, it isn't a different system, kind of, but it feels like it. So you get more of a break essentially in between each stroke on the rate capped, especially if it's on rate 20. Obviously the recovery is longer, the time between the catch and the finish is longer, so you get to have like big breaths in between on the lower rate stuff. Higher rate obviously less than that. So to me it feels like with the free rate you're taking more strokes obviously, and your heart rate climbs higher a bit faster, but it doesn't keep climbing, if you know what I mean. So for me it sort of climbed up to 150, 160 quite quickly, and then just gradually went up. And the lower rate cap stuff, like at 20, it'll sort of take quite a while to get to 160, and then just keep on going quite consistently up. rather than gradually building. And then as well, since you have that little bit more of a breather in between every stroke, it's almost like it's more of a weightlifting exercise kind of thing rather than just spinning the wheel. So it's almost a bit more like water rowing if you're spinning the wheel, spinning the flywheel, having the rate higher rather than slugging it along. You generally want to be on the ticking over side of things in the water versus sort of the weight type thing, but obviously it depends what you're working on. Definitely more sort of, you feel it in the muscles more with the lower rates versus the higher rates. It's more of a cardio feeling, the heart and lungs pumping a bit harder in the higher rate stuff, if all of that makes sense. But that will be it for today's episode, Jam Squad. Not quite how I wanted it to go, but like I've always said, showing you the ups and downs and the side steps and all that. Just quite unfortunate that that's how this one went down, and I'm going to have to do it again at some point. So today 41.4, and I did 41.6 at a 20 2 weeks ago, so that's disappointing, but onwards to the next one. And as always, Yam Squad, remember to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that like button, and I will see you tomorrow for another episode. Oh yeah!